Hey, indie filmmakers, I'm Griffin Hammond.
I'm Nick Bodmerant. Let's skip the intro. I want to know, how did you win a camera? And how do I win a camera?
Yeah, this was crazy. At the last minute, I got invited to B&H, the camera superstore in New York City. And they invited me to be part of a white elephant gift exchange.
Okay, that's a good place to be. Right? Yeah, in my family, that's everyone gets a bad gift and you trade them around game.
Right, yeah. It's usually a bad thing, yeah. Like things you're trying to get rid of.
Right.
And I didn't know exactly what we were doing. I thought maybe we were going to go in the store after hours and maybe they'd give us each like $50 to spend and be like, go buy each other something. But it wasn't like that at all. They actually like picked out the gifts in advance. They were just going to give us free stuff. It was super nice of them.
And they didn't call me. I mean, I'm in Nevada, but you know, I can jump on a plane. You know, there's going to be gift giving going on.
Right. So there were like 7 of us there, and it was all people, all like pretty big YouTube influencer types. Steve Ronin, Armando Ferreira, Booredatwork, Jon Reyes, Nothing But Tech 88, Brendan, Miranda, and me. And most of these people had over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so bigger channels than mine. How much do I have, Nick?
Let's look. I was typing it, and you have 74,492 subscribers.
Yeah.
Hey, as I logged in to check your subscriber count, it told me I have a new subscriber. I'm up to 257 subscribers. Thank you very much.
Right. So you're almost in the running to get invited to these sorts of things.
Close. 257. Guys, just a couple more subs and I'll be there. So, are you saying I'm not an influencer?
You're on your way. You're well on your way.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
What surprised me though is it seemed like many of these people, the way they were talking about a white elephant, it sounded like most people had never heard of this concept, and it made me wonder. Like, we're both from the Midwest. Is this a Midwestern thing?
Is it? Did you find out?
I don't know, but a lot of people were not familiar with the format. So what we did is we sat down. There's a pile of gifts in front of us, and they're all wrapped. We don't know what they are, and each of us took a turn picking one. And you know how a white elephant goes, right?
In our version, everyone brings a gift, and it's usually like a terrible gift. And you put them all down, and one by one you go up and you pick a gift and you open it up. And then when it's the next person's turn, they have the option of stealing the gift that somebody else has already opened or picking a new gift to open.
Right, yeah. And this was similar to that, except they missed kind of that. I think that's the key thing, is that in a normal white elephant, you open the gift. It's a surprise at first, but then you open it and then other people know what they're stealing from you. Right. But they don't know if they're stealing the best thing or if there's still something better left in the middle.
Yeah.
But with this, it stayed completely secret. We never opened them until the very end. So someone picked like a giant box at first, but it seemed like it was really light. Like maybe there was just like an IOU slip inside.
An SD card.
Right. I picked kind of a medium-sized box, and no one ever stole it from me. I think there was only one theft that happened. And then, of course, you get to pick a new item from the middle. But what surprised me was right at the beginning when they asked us, like, what we thought was going to happen. I mean, literally, I thought they were going to... I guess I didn't know what the value of these gifts would be. I thought it'd be maybe over $100 or something, but they told us beforehand that like some of these were like over $900 worth of value.
Oh jeez.
And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. And in the end, I opened up my box and it's a $3,400 camera set.
What?
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, no way. What? Oh,
this is the EOS R is the full frame, right?
Yeah.
Full frame mirrorless?
With the kit lens, dude!
That's crazy. Thank you so much. You're the big baller here. Thank you, Mendy. Thank you so much, yeah.
Good.
They gave me the new mirrorless Canon camera, the EOS R.
Get out of town.
Yeah. Plus, they gave me the a 24 to 105 millimeter lens with it.
So that's a nice setup. Yeah.
Right. And so I was just blown away. I think that was the most expensive gift they gave us. I mean, everyone got something awesome. Like there were drones and computers and gaming systems, and it was very kind of them.
Well, you got the perfect thing for you then, though, didn't you?
Well, it's funny because I think this is probably the first. Actually, no, it's not the first Canon camera I have. I had a Power Shot in college, one of those little point and shoots.
Oh, I had one of those too. We had very similar ones, I think, with the little lens that would come out on its own and thing.
Right,
it was
yeah.
like silver. Yeah, it was a great little camera at the time.
Yeah, but this is my first DSLR-shaped Canon. Of course, this is a mirrorless one, though.
Well, you have some experience in the mirrorless world, so
right.
It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on the new Canon.
Well, yeah, and I'm interested to compare it to eventually when Lumix is coming out with their full frame, the S1 and the S1R in, quote, early 2019. So it'll be interesting to kind of compare these two products.
So the EOS R is a full frame mirrorless as well?
Yes. It's
so they really are like perfectly comparable. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that the Canon got kind of criticized for is it's a full frame camera, but when you shoot in 4K, it's no longer using that full sensor. It crops in.
Oh, okay.
So I guess, it's kind of like if you're shooting 1080 and you want the full frame field of view, that's perfect. For photos, that's great. But any 4K shooting you would do, you'd be cropped in. So that's just something to consider. I'm actually pretty impressed with the body of this camera. Like,
okay.
It feels really nice. I like the kind of the plastic of it. Also, one thing that they've done that sometimes people criticize the GH5 for this is that they actually put the headphone jack on the EOS R is out of the way of the LCD.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you flip the LCD around, it wouldn't bump into the mic or the headphone jack. So it seems like a nice camera, but I'm already noticing that just from playing around with it a little bit, it's missing some kind of basic video features, like it doesn't have zebra stripes, and I just feel like there's little things like that are missing that make it a little bit harder to use.
Well, that's the kind of stuff we've gotten
peaking.
used to as Panasonic has kind of added those features over the years, right? So
yeah,
they've got a little bit of a head start.
They managed to keep the body really small and compact. It's actually about the size. It's pretty much the exact same size as the GH5. I can hold them up together. And then it weighs a little tiny bit less than the GH5. It's probably 90% of the weight of the GH5. But I think some of the sacrifice of that is that they didn't give it like dedicated ISO white balance buttons. There's actually kind of like one button that does all of those, and then you move dials around.
Does it use the same Canon lenses as all the other Canon full frames, or is it a new lens system?
It's a new system because when they take the mirror out, they no longer need the lens can be a lot closer to the sensor now. So these are, I think they're just called EOS R lenses for this mount. And I think if you wanted to put an EF lens on, a full frame lens from maybe your 5D or something, you would have to get I think it's a $100 adapter that pretty much, I think, just holds it out a little bit farther.
But you can use them, which is, I mean, that's huge, right? I mean, there's a lot of those lenses floating around the world.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for $100, you could add a ton of your existing Canon glass to the EOS R.
And what lens? You said they gave you a lens, too? Is it a kit lens, or?
Yeah, they, I guess, I don't know how many lenses they have for this lineup yet, but this is the 24 to 105, which is interesting because that's also the same focal length that Panasonic announced. They're going to do a zoom 24 to 105 for the new L mount, the S1 and S1R. So I think there'll be a few differences. Maybe there'll be some things. Panasonic's will be a newer camera, so I'm guessing it'll have more features. But it'll be interesting to compare these two because in a lot of ways they're kind of occupying the same space in the market. So I
Be very
haven't shot a
interesting
whole
to
lot
see your
yet.
comparison.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to actually have this camera to do the comparisons with. I think my first impression, because I haven't really shot much, I've just kind of shot some test stuff. My first impression is that I love the body style and it feels really good, but it seems like the body is kind of better than the firmware on it. Like, it feels pretty good to use all the buttons.
And with the brand new camera, that might be something that gets improved over time.
I mean, I don't know if the other Canons are like this, but it just feels kind of clunky to move around the settings. Like, there's just a lot of weird kind of like move up and down to move between items and move left and right to change items. It's just not particularly intuitive to be like doing a lot of like down, down, left, left, up, right. Like, it just feels kind of strange.
Sounds like a cheat code on the Nintendo or something.
Yeah. And like having the one button to do white balance and ISO feels a little clunky too. Like, you push a button and then you're like turning one dial to change which thing you're changing, and then you're turning a different dial to change the actual setting. Just feels a little weird. Maybe that's just.
Do you remember off the top of your head the Konami code, the secret code that worked on all the Konami games?
I don't know. It was like up, down, left, right, something. I can't remember.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. There you go.
Yeah. I'll try that on the EOS R. And
try that on the Canon and see what settings you get. It could be interesting.
So I guess because I'm new to this camera, and I'd love to know in the comments if anyone else has the new Canon EOS R, if there's questions you have about it, especially what things should I be looking for in the future to compare with Panasonic's lineup that's coming. I'd love to know.
Well, I would just love to see how it matches with the GH5 in terms of image. Like, could you cut between them, or are they too different? And, you know, I would also love to kind of understand what's the depth of field difference, you know, between, you know, a micro four thirds and the full frame like that. I think that would be interesting to see. So, yeah. There's my requests. You might need a little bit I guess if your lens is what, like an f4, so you might need to go find a prime or something for that thing to really test it out.
Well, I think, you know, I don't know exactly how the numbers line up, but I feel like so far it feels like an f4 on a full frame is a different experience than an f4 on a crop sensor. Like, I think you're getting...
when I hear f4, I'm like, I can't use it.
Right, it sounds like a dark lens when you're coming from a micro four thirds world, but I have a feeling that I feel like this is a completely uninformed opinion I'm sharing, because I don't know how the numbers exactly line up, but it seems to me like an f4
kind of opinions.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like an f4 is more like an f2.8 on micro four thirds, or even an f2. Like, it's got to be 2 to 4 times the light performance.
So you think we can expect to see some videos with some information on this camera system at some point from you?
I mean, I got a lot of projects I'm working on, so it may not be in the next week, but it'll be something I'll
and I guess you better say maybe a little thank you to B&H. What a great hookup.
Thank you very much. And thank you especially to Mendy Paul, who is the influencer marketing guy at B&H, who invited me and let me participate in this really cool event.
Again, Mendy Paul, it's Nick Bodmer, Bodmer. I have 257 subscribers, but it's growing every day. Or not every day, but some days. So just check that out. Check that out. You know, if you ever got a Vegas event, you're doing, you know, one of the shows out here, I'm ready. I'm ready anytime.
Well, and before we go, I want to say this Friday is Black Friday, and this Monday is Cyber Monday. And as always, I'll be tracking many of the deals that are going on sale for filmmakers. So I've actually started tracking those already on a kit list on kit.com, but the shortcut for you to get there is just go to griffinhammond.com/November, and you can just see things as I start to populate that list out. And let me know in the comments if you are finding some really cool stuff that other filmmakers should know about, or just even if it's just product categories you're excited about.
Yeah, I did see the GH5 was on sale pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think I already have the GH5, the GH5S are on sale, some Lumix lenses that I use, the Mavic Air drone that I use is on sale right now. Things like that are already on there.
Beautiful. Alrighty, sir, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Because you see, this intro's kind of weird. I have you saying, I'm Nick Bodmer, and let's just skip the intro. I want to know, how did you win a camera?